Good afternoon, Prairie View Christian Church. Thanks for tuning in, listening in, watching to this midweek update. Whether you're watching it now, live on Facebook, or whether you watch it later on YouTube after we send it out, we appreciate you tuning in. This is the 11th or 12th midweek update that we've done. It is Wednesday, May 27th. It seems like a totally different era of history before we started doing these updates, and this is just something that we've had to get used to. So hopefully you've gotten used to it as well, and hopefully these have been beneficial for you. Now, it's been a busy week at church for lots of reasons. If you are aware of the things that are coming here in just a few days, you can see how we might be scrambling a little bit around here to get things ready and put things together. Number one, we're starting a new sermon series this week, looking at the life and the ministry and the record of the prophet Elijah in 1st and 2nd Kings. So that's exciting, and that's new and different, and should be fun. But the biggest thing that's taking up our attention and causing us a little bit of stress and maybe a little bit of excitement and maybe some anxiety as well is the thought of gathering again for in-person worship on Sunday, May 31st. That is what we are all preparing for, that is what we're all gearing up for, and that is what will be the main focus of this week's midweek update. So some of this you will have heard before, some of this you haven't, so this might be good for you to listen in, especially if you prepare to be here on May 31st. So first, I want to draw some attention to our website. Back 4 or 5 years ago, we spent a lot of time and spent a lot of money getting our website redone from the ground up, trying to make it more useful for the people who already call Prairie View home, and then make it more welcoming and make a better impression on those who do not call Prairie View home. These days, one of the first things people do is they look for a church when they move to a new area, or if they simply haven't been part of a church for some time, is they get online, they look at the website. So we made a big investment in our website a few years back. That's been really good for us. But even after we made that announcement or that investment, we haven't really utilized our website as much as we could. It's been nice to have. It's been a big improvement over what we had before, but we really haven't used it as much as some other churches use their websites. But I can tell you this, in light of our current situation, especially as we start to get back to in-person worship, we're going to be using our website more. Hopefully you're going to be using our website more, because we're going to be pretty consistently sending you to the website. Now, the main thing that the website is going to do, I'll give you a few examples moving forward. Number one, the website is going to be the way that we get RSVPs. As we've mentioned, we are going to rearrange the chairs here in the sanctuary. That way we can accommodate as many people as possible while also being safe and responsible and keeping people socially distanced, keeping people 6 feet apart. And a huge help in that effort would be if we have a pretty good grasp of how many people are going to be here. Or how many families of 4 are we going to have? How many couples are we going to have? How many single people are we going to have? Knowing that will help us do a better job of arranging the room so that we can seat everyone comfortably, so that everybody can have a good look at the stage, and so that we can also be safe and socially distanced. So the RSVP is going to happen through our website. On the website, you'll see a tab at the top of the page that says Sunday Morning. When you click on Sunday Morning, you'll see a drop-down menu. One of the options is RSVP. You'll click on that link, you'll fill out a very short, simple form, and then you will send it to us. That will go to me, that will go to a couple of our elders, and so we'll have a pretty good idea of who's going to be here on Sunday morning the 31st, and presumably for many Sundays moving ahead. We don't know how long we're going to have the RSVP system, but it's probably here to stay for at least a little while. So every Wednesday, we are going to send out this video, the way we have been through Nancy's email, and Nancy is also going to send out a link to the RSVP. We want to give you several days to respond. We want you to give us several days to figure out how many people we're going to have. That way we have the time to move the chairs around. That RSVP is going to be very, very important moving forward. if we want this to go smoothly for all of us. So please look on the website and take advantage of that RSVP, especially when Nancy sends it out. Trust me, the last thing you want is for Nancy to be bugging you about not responding to your email. So get that email from her and RSVP through the website. We would greatly appreciate it. Also on the website, we're going to have our connection cards. As Joshua mentioned on Sunday morning, we will no longer have our beautiful green connection cards. Personally, I think they're great. I think they are very aesthetically pleasing, but I guess I'm alone in that opinion. That's mainly because we don't want to be touching stuff if we don't have to. We don't want to unintentionally or unnecessarily spread germs. So instead of having you fill out paper connection cards the way that we would have before, we're just going to make that available on the website. And like the RSVP, it will be under the Sunday morning tab. It's a really simple form. It's all the same information that the connection cards have always had. So we'll ask you to do connection cards through the website as well. And then finally, the same principle applies for our weekly bulletin. Instead of printing bulletins out and passing them out at the door or at the welcome desk, we'll simply update our weekly bulletin on the website. When you're sitting in the sanctuary at 9:55 before the service begins, you can get on the website and get a look at who's doing what that morning during the service. So our website is going to get a lot more attention over the coming days and coming weeks. We hope that's beneficial for you. It would certainly be helpful for us, for you to use the website appropriately. That is especially true of the RSVPs, but it's true of everything else as well. So get on the website. It's pvcchurch.org. If you've never been there before, take a look around, familiarize yourself with it, and get used to it, especially if you plan to be here on Sunday, May 31st, or in the Sundays moving ahead. Also, I wanted to mention that this coming Friday is our final elders meeting before Sunday, May 31st. That's the day that we will be crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's and trying to make sure we have all of our bases covered and are well prepared to have people in the building on Sunday. And with that meeting, not only will we be having some conversation and talking and figuring things out, but we will do a live video walkthrough. You should have a pretty good idea of what to expect on Sunday morning the 31st. But if you don't, that walkthrough should give you a pretty good idea. We'll start in the parking lot, we'll come in the lobby, we'll stop at different areas along the way to explain what you should expect on Sunday morning, May 31st. If there are questions that you still have, maybe that video will help clear some of those things up. But either way, we hope that video will be helpful to you. That will be coming this Friday, May 29th. We'll do it here on Facebook Live, and then we'll also have it on YouTube. That way Nancy can send it out, and you can watch it after the fact. So be on the lookout for an additional video this coming Friday, the 29th. And then finally, we are still working on the live stream side of things. We recognize that not everyone is going to be here on Sunday the 31st, and it's probably for the best that everybody not be here on the 31st, especially if you're over 65, especially if you're high risk, if you just don't feel comfortable coming yet. That is perfectly understandable and perfectly legitimate, and we respect that. Nobody's going to judge you for that. So for those who can't be here, we are offering that live stream. And you can't see it on the camera right now, but Joshua has set up quite the live stream command station here in the sanctuary. He's put a lot of thought and effort and work into it to make sure that when Sunday rolls around, we can live stream and do it relatively well and hopefully not have a ton of bumps in the road. So that will be happening. We certainly hope and pray that will serve you well if you can't be here on the 31st or if you can't be here over the next few Sundays after that, whatever the future might hold. Now that pretty much is the main content of today's weekly update. But one more thing I do want to mention that has been flying under the radar for all of us, including the elders and the staff here at the church. With everything else that's consuming our attention, with everything else that's going on in the world and in the church and preparing for Sunday, it's elder nomination time. And we are starting to think about the elder ballot. So be thinking about the current elders that are up for re-election, the elders that you think should-be elders who are not elders currently. If you have nominations or names that you think would be appropriate to consider for eldership, be sending those in. That will also be on the website under the Policies tab. Still not quite a finished product yet, but hopefully very soon we will be prepared to take those nominations and accept those votes for the guys who are currently on the ballot. So please pay attention to the elder nomination. I once heard somebody say, back in 2016, I think, the last year of a presidential election before this year, they said that really, quite frankly, people like you and people like me, average Americans, the election of elders in our church is going to have a significantly more important impact on our lives than the election of the President of the United States. Realistically, the person who's sitting in the Oval Office might not have that much of an impact on our day-to-day lives, but the elders of our church absolutely have an impact on our day-to-day lives. They have an impact on our spiritual lives. So I certainly hope and pray that you will take that seriously, participate in that voting if you are a member of the church. That way we can continue to have good and godly and competent elders here at this church. Now, with that, I'll close things up for our weekly update for Wednesday, May 27th. I've told a few people that leading up to May 31st, I'm a mixture of excited and anxious and stressed and nervous all at the same time. As we look forward to May 31st, as we plan, as we think, as we talk, as we wrestle with some of the risks and try to figure out how to keep people safe and how to worship in a way that's honoring to God, this has not been an easy experience for any of us. And there are lots of mixed emotions heading into Sunday, May 31st. So I would appreciate your prayers over the next few days. Please pray for our leaders, pray for our church, pray for our people, that what happens on May 31st and what happens in the Sundays following May 31st would be responsible and wise and safe for us, would be a good witness to our community, to the surrounding world, but would ultimately be glorifying to God. That's the main purpose of Sunday morning worship, is glorifying God. So we certainly hope and pray that will happen this coming Sunday, in person for the first time in 11 or 12 weeks. We would appreciate your prayers towards that goal and towards that end. So with that, I will call it quits for this Wednesday. And for the first time in 11 or 12 weeks, I can say that I look forward to seeing some of you, many of you, maybe if not most of you, this coming Sunday at Prairie View. So take care, have a good rest of your week, and I will see many of you on